What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video. So it's been a long while since I last posted on YouTube, and in that time a lot of stuff has happened. Now I won't go into all the stuff that's happened in Battlefield 1 or the different games. That's all going to be in later videos if I decide to cover it. Today's video is purely a way to get back to making videos and to kind of see if I can still come back and make stuff, because I really enjoy doing this and it's something that I would like to do in the future, but currently is very difficult to do. But regardless of that, today's video is about the games that I'm most excited for in 2018, even though I'm kind of a month or so late. So the first game that I'm looking forward to is obviously Battlefield 2018. Now at the moment we have no confirmation of if there's going to be a new game at all in 2018, but with the dwindling success of Battlefield 1 and it being 2 years since that game's release, or a year and a bit, it'll be 2 years in 2018, it would be a massive shock to the whole community if there wasn't a new game. And after Hardline and Battlefield 1 were both semi-letdowns in terms of the community, it would definitely be a case of EA and DICE wanting to get back to Battlefield success. Battlefield 1, as far as I can remember, had the intent of being a 3-year game, and it's come out and it's barely lasted a year. So hopefully they will make a new game for 2018, and hopefully it won't be another cast-off, another game that it's designed to be a game for a year. Hopefully bring us a new solid game. Now personally, I would love a Bad Company 3 or a full Vietnam game, not some expansion that's only sort of an add-on to another game. Even though Bad Company 2 Vietnam was incredible, I would really love to see a standalone game. The general rumours seem to be hinting towards a World War II game, and although that's not a problem, I do kind of wish we had something else. The main problem that FPS games find at the moment is that there's nowhere really to go anymore. Basically any kind of modern conflict has been covered, and anything not inside the 1900s or the 2000s just doesn't make a decent game. Combat before that time was just too slow and really does not cater towards the general first-person shooter market. The one thing this does mean is that we have to invent new conflicts for new games, and that could be really exciting. The most you can think of, if you make a whole new conflict that happened in the 1980s, that would be incredible to see, and I would really hope that something like that happens, but the risk that it presents is just too much for a main developer, and I doubt we'll see it happen. Either way, I am really excited for this game, and I will definitely be ordering it, and hopefully doing a lot of content on that, although obviously it's about a year away, so there won't be any time soon. So now the second game is Red Dead Redemption 2. I will confess right now, before I say anything else, that I have not played the first game. It happens to be just one of those games that came out, I didn't buy it when it came out, and I just haven't played it since. A similar thing happened with me and GTA 5. I bought it when it came out on PS3, and I just haven't bought it since. I'm a big fan of those games, but the kind of games that I wouldn't purposely go out and buy unless there was a big reason for it, like it being a massive release. But if I was to make a list of games that are slightly older and that I need to play now, it would definitely have Red Dead Redemption 1 at the top. But the main reason that I'm excited for playing Red Dead Redemption 2 without having played the first game is because I'm a huge fan of westerns. And obviously a game set entirely in the West is going to draw all of my attention. Now what I really love about this game is the protagonist doesn't seem to be a hero. My only gripe with the original game is that I really wanted to be an outlaw. I wanted to be somebody going raiding places, raiding towns, doing all that kind of stuff. I wanted that outlaw story, a bit like Jesse James or Billy the Kid. Somebody who was out for themselves and wanted everything for their own, rather than somebody who was trying to do the right thing after doing wrong. It's not that I have a problem with that storyline, I think it's a good storyline, but that's not what I wanted to see from a Western game. But either way, regardless how this game turns out, I'll definitely be playing it, and I won't make the mistake I made with the original game. I'll definitely be pre-ordering this one and playing the hell out of it. And now the next game was meant to come out in 2017, and I'm pretty sure I put it on some kind of list last year, but this game still looks incredible. There's some really interesting storylines they have. There's some incredible scenes of just these masses of zombies flying towards you. Just this flood breaking through a train, buildings just coming straight for you. And after saying that, of course, this game is Days Gone, We still don't know a huge amount. There's no sort of general release or any kind of demo or anything like that. There's only a few little trailers and clips and news articles. But every time I hear more news about this game, I get more pumped, despite the fact it's almost been 2 years since it was announced. But again, every time I hear something, I get more and more pumped to finally play it. Even if it's on PS4, I'm going to love the hell out of this game. So my next game is not too far from coming out. Releasing on March 27th, Far Cry 5 looks like another fantastic Far Cry game. I was a huge fan of Far Cry 3, I played that game an absolute ton, and although it did feel like a bit of a reskin at times, Far Cry 4 kind of established the direction the Far Cry game was going to take. By basically doing the same thing, I kind of feel that the two games are saying, this is what we know, this is what we hope Far Cry games will be in the future, but obviously we'll be changing it as we go along, because you have to change it before it gets stale. What I love about the Far Cry games is they have this extreme view of the world, people are more extreme than they are in the real world. There's things that are just weird situations you just wouldn't encounter in the real world, but that's what makes it so interesting. It's like everything's been turned up in terms of the insanity. They have a crazy antagonists, these twisted storylines, and Far Cry 5 looks like a hell of a lot of fun. Just as much fun as the previous two, but with more features, better gameplay mechanics, and a bunch of stuff that could really add a lot of longevity to the game. Now hopefully it doesn't feel stale. The worst thing that can happen is you play the first hour, 2 hours, and then you go, you know what, this is just Far Cry 4. I can't be bothered to play this, I've done this twice already, and you just give up the game and quit. I doubt that will happen though, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Hopefully I'll have time to pre-order it before it comes out, and I can do a bunch of videos on it. Now what I also hope is that this isn't the final Far Cry game like this. Personally, I love these games and I would really love to see them carry on, although obviously I'm not the only market, and if these games don't do well, they're going to stop it and do something entirely new. Now this next one is a bit of a dark horse, and I'm not sure if that's because it's been delayed or if it's just because people just seem to forget about it. The Metro series originally is a massively bleak, post-apocalyptic world that, although I'm not a fan of the Darkline story, or the Dark One storyline, I still love the survival aspects and these faction versus faction conflicts. So the latest installment of Metro Exodus seems to actually capitalize and put more focus onto that survival aspect, rather than having this sort of fantasy, storyline over these Dark Ones, these new creatures, can they fit in this world? It seems to finally focus on, hang on, people are surviving in this world, this is a post-apocalyptic world, how are they surviving, what do they have to do to survive? My hope is that the game is all about trying to escape the Metro. We spent near enough 2 games, or we spent 2 full games and a few expansions entirely in the Metro, in Moscow, and from the first trailer we've seen, there's a big train in it, and you seem to be outside of the city. So my hope is that you're actually journeying all the way through the Eastern Bloc, all the way through Russia, Ukraine, that sort of territory, towards the west. We're trying to find out if it's actually bombed as well, or if it's a sort of paradise that, you consider a paradise compared to the nuclear wasteland. So of course then my hope is that we get this great view of a nuclear wasteland Europe as we just hurtle through on this train, finding problems, helping people, getting new people on the train, things like that. Although I still wouldn't be opposed to a general Metro game, faction versus faction, but I really hope there isn't some kind of underlying story about, accepting new people or something like that. Although that is an interesting storyline in cases, I just feel that it's not the thing that I enjoy most of Metro. So lastly, I've saved the best for last, and that, funnily enough, is The Last of Us 2. Although this one seems incredibly gory to the first game, I just couldn't leave it off. There was no way I could leave this game off. I'd say almost unfortunately, I don't kind of feel willing to play this one, mainly because of the trauma you feel in the storyline, the amount of emotion they convey in the game. The first time I played Last of Us 1, I was just broken for a week or so, and that's the kind of thing that doesn't want me to play this game. Obviously that won't stop me playing the game, I'm still going to play the hell out of it and play the multiplayer a ton because the multiplayer is extremely fun. But it's one of those games that you go into thinking, God, am I going to hate this? Am I going to come away thinking, why did I play that? And how is it going to affect me? But that's the exact reason why you play those kind of games. Even if it doesn't have Joel and Ellie and any of your characters you know before, even if it's an entirely storyline, I'll still play it and I'll still be engrossed in this world, even if it does absolutely terrify me and absolutely break my heart at the same time. So is there any game that you can name that I've left off my list? I pick the games that I get the most excited about whenever I watch a trailer or talk about the game or sort of watch a video on it. And either way, if you have any games that you think I should include on this list, post them down in the comments below. So now I hope to get back to regular content with Battlefield 1, but the problem with that is it doesn't do well on YouTube anymore, especially not in the sense of the content that I do at the moment, or that I did before. So hopefully we'll find a new game or find new kind of content I can do, but I'm really not sure how gaming is going to turn out on YouTube in the next couple of years. This isn't something that I hope to do for a general career, but something I do have a lot of fun doing, and the problem is it starts to get to the point where you end up spending more than you ever earn, therefore it's not worth continuing to do it. But either way, hopefully you'll still enjoy and still watch my content, but either way, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.